Hello fellow YouTubers. So it's Sunday, day 13, about midday, just before 1 o'clock. I'm heading off to our gaming place to play some Firestorm Armada. There's been some questions asked to me way back about the game, and just thought I'd talk a little bit about it. So Firestorm Armada is a spaceship battle game made by the same guys that does Dystopian Wars, Spartan Games. I have played Battlefleet Gothic a couple of years ago, and they are quite similar in many ways, but still different. The game is now up to the second edition of the rules. It has evolved for a couple of years and kind of grown and expanded, and we only played once with these second edition rules, but so far so good. The rules seems to be very interesting, simple enough to learn quite quickly, but gives us good scope for tactics and different playing styles. I also like that they have actually differentiated the races quite good, even though it's like ship to ship battle. It could have a tendency to get a bit boring, but the different races have their own strengths and weaknesses that you will have to try to find out and exploit on your opponent, and try to mitigate for yourself, so to speak. So today's game is Patrol Fleet. It's the smallest size of game. It's actually gonna be 1,000 points per side, so it, in that regard it would be a step up to the next size, but we're playing 2 versus 2, so we'll have 500 points each. Patrol Fleet is up to 800 points, I think, so just a handful of ships per person. Yeah, I'm gonna try to film some clips during the day, and maybe try and do a little roundup when I'm back at home again. So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello and welcome back. So I thought I'd do a little roundup for the day. You've seen some video and images of the battle. I didn't do any kind of commentary during the game, but you can kind of see how it evolves. So we started out with two minor fleets on two patrol fleets on each side. So I played Dindrenzi, that's what you're looking at. My ally was playing the Protectorate. Dindrenzi are colonists from Terra and Earth that has moved out into space and then gotten their independence by war and are now waging war against their former masters or such. You can read up on the history, I won't go into too much detail. The Protectorate is kind of a mega corporation in space, and they sell arms and are kind of like puppet masters in the background that tries to keep the war going so they can sell more ships and weapons and such. Real bastards, but hey, they're on my side. So on the other side was the Aquan, who is a water-based race. Their ships are filled with liquid. The guy who played them said they were like squids, but I'm not quite sure about that. But they are, anyways, a water-based alien race. And then there was the Cerulean. The Ceruleans have the elongated blue ships in the game, and the Aquans have the lighter blue, very sleek ships. You can see, you can kind of look at them and see what the race is pretty much. The Ceruleans are a lizard people, so based around that. They are apparently more of mathematicians and not a very warlike race, but got sucked into the war when some other race started to taking them prisoners and doing experiments on them, and then they got pissed off. And lo and behold, they got some FTL drives from another race to help them out, but yeah, really they just wanted an ally in the fight. So the game itself, you could kind of see the smaller fleets in the beginning. That's where you start. Those fleets are pretty much what you get in the starter fleets, the starter kits you can buy. You can buy patrol fleets, and so in the patrol fleets you get a battleship, a couple of cruisers, and some frigates, and then we had some gunships instead of cruisers. Yeah, bits and pieces that have been swapped out or added to the fleet, but pretty much what you saw is what you get in the starters. I thought talk just quickly about the ships. What you're looking at now is part of my Dindrenzi patrol fleet. Just for scale, I'm gonna put this Space Marine so you can see how big the ships are. This is a battleship. And it's not the biggest ship in the fleet, but it's kind of the mainstay big ship that you use. In the patrol fleet you can't use the bigger ships like the Dreadnought, but you can use the battleship. So this is that one. The Dindrenzi have gun decks, so they have guns on the top here. If you can see that really good, and they also have a gun deck in the middle there, so that's kind of their thing. Other races have batteries of guns going on the side, and they use them to fire broadsides. The Dindrenzi also have some massive kinetic weapons in the front and torpedoes. So if this is the battleship, this is an escort, a very small ship, one of the smallest in the game. They can be attached to some larger ships to help them out with defense defense against boarding, defense against missile fired at them, and yeah, a couple of other things. Some of them are solely defensive. The Dindrenzi escorts actually have some guns as well that they can fire on smaller targets. In the game I managed to take out some frigates with my escorts actually. And this is a carrier. Carriers can launch wings of flights, fighters, bombers, assault crews and such. And then you have tokens on the gaming board that you can move. They can keep around the ship that they have as a mothership, and then you can send them out on attack runs, which lasts for pretty much that round, and then they go back to into the ship to refuel. Moving along, this is a Dindrenzi cruiser. Cruisers are very good in the game. I think they are very capable to take on bigger targets, but are more nimble and do have some staying power, so they don't blow up. You can't, or you can, but it's hard to blow up a cruiser squadron in one turn, even with a big ship. And yeah, they can combine fire to fire upon battleships and such, and actually do some pretty nasty damage. So this is a frigate. Frigates are very fast, and they're gonna have a hard time to fire upon bigger ships like battleships, but they do very well against other cruisers and such. And as they are very fast, you can actually quite easily maneuver and get into the rear arc of larger ships, and you get more tactical options with the small ships, where you can slingshot around planets and come around to take out escorts and such. Yeah, so these are some basic ships. There are a lot more ship types in the game that I currently don't have. As I said, there's dreadnoughts, which are even more huge than the battleships. There's battle stations that you can buy into your fleet. And they have a lot of guns, but move very, very slowly, but they can move during the game, and you can have them as an anchor point, more or less. There are destroyers, corvettes, well, you name it, the different kind of ships you kind of expect in a fleet. They have built up the variants of ships very well in this game during the years, so now you have a lot of options. And to add to this, you can actually make an alliance fleet with other races as well, so you don't have to field all Dindrenzi in your fleet. You can have Dindrenzi with some of their allies as well as parts of the fleet, which makes it even more fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into the rules, but we found out when we started playing the game that it pretty much have rules for not everything you can think of, but much of the things you can come up with during the game. We were playing and saying, "Oh, it would be cool if we could do this or do that," and then we looked it up in the rules, and there was actually rules for that, like boarding and slingshot maneuvers. You can combine and split fire, so you can combine fire from several ships in your squadrons to make a more powerful attack. So if you have 3 ships, you can make all of them fire separately, or you can combine them and get more dice on one attack to perhaps get through the defense of a bigger ship. Split fire is if you have very many dice like a battleship, and you want to spread them out on smaller ships. You can actually, if you have 16 dice on your broadside, you can split it up, if you have the rule split fire, to several different targets, and just assign how many dice each should take. There are effects that you can get on your ships when you're So you can be on fire, your hull could be corroded, or your crew could be poisoned or sick, and things like that. There are different type of ammunition that does extra damage or effects on the ships. There's a lot of things that can happen in the game, and the game we played, we just put 2 fleets on either side and went for it and tried to destroy each other. And it came down to 3 battleships in the end, duking it out. Yeah, but in the game there's also missions you play, and there's a kind of a scoring system, so you don't have to play it until every ship is gone. You can actually say, okay, we're gonna play this mission, or we're gonna play for this many rounds, and then you have a scoring system during the game, and at the end you just tally it up and see who won and by how much. So yeah, if you're interested in a space fleet game, I can highly recommend Firestorm Armada. I like the rules, and you get the ships are very I think they're very cheap for what you get size wise. These ships you are looking at now are the very first sculpts that they made, and since then they have actually resculpted much of their earlier ships, and the detail and the quality is much better now. These were all right, but the new ships are great, so to speak. So yeah, if you're interested in a fleet battle game, I think you should really take a look at Firestorm Armada and have a go with it. So that's it. If you have any questions, put them down below and I try to answer them. And if you want to read up a little bit more, I suggest you go to Spartan Games webpage and look up Firestorm Armada. They have information about the different races and such there, and there's even they even have a download for the revised first edition rules. So if you're interested, you can download that and have a look at it. And the second edition rules is a continuation of those, so you can have a look at them, and then just if you like it, you can go and buy the second edition rulebook, which is a bit tighter rules wise, and added even more bits and pieces to it. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna cut it here. It's been a huge long video, so this is gonna be my vid for day 13. I haven't answered the daily question from today or yesterday, but I'm gonna do that in my day 14 vid. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and take a look at the game. Highly recommend it. And I'll be back in day 14. So have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Bye.